And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Juices Loose, number 53. And this is the podcast where we're first and foremost about having fun, as usual. And got a slim down guest list this week, but, the important people are here because we're the ones that are here. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I like how you said the important people are here. It's like, yeah, the guy who runs the podcast and one other guy. That's all we need. Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Insane Game Freak here. I'm like a regular now. I want my own chair and like a cup. Let's just get this started.
Yep, that's like your third Juices Loose in a row. So I made it official. I said, hey, Terrell, if you want to be on every week, just expect to be on every week. Let me know if you can't. So good to have you as a regular, and let's get started. Like I said, we had a slim down guest list, and it's just you and I, so we'll do our best to make it entertaining and fun. Sean Troll isn't here this week, so maybe a little less laughter, but we'll see what we can do. So before we get into the podcast, I'm gonna steal from Leveled Head Gamer and ask you, Terrell, what you've been gaming on, last week, last 2 weeks or whatever. And that's going to lead into our first topic.
I would say I've kind of switched between about 3 games. It's Smash Brothers because of the tournament update, Splatoon because Splatoon, and probably Codename Steam because I've been trying to do a lot of the side challenges where, you do it where you can't see you or your enemy's health bars. The one where you have to do you can't backtrack. Like a lot of the challenges in Steam are actually really interesting. Splatoon, new weapons, and then we got this week. This weekend's gonna be nuts. This weekend's gonna be fun as hell. So I'm trying to keep myself fresh. See what I did there? And then the Smash Brothers after the tournament, we also got some patch notes to like buffs and nerfs certain characters, and I wanted to test them out and see if any of my mains got any buffs. I need to go back in there and do some more practicing with Ike. That's my dude for Smash Brothers. But yeah, just those 3 games have been the main things I'm planning on.
Yeah, I mean, 3's a good amount of games. I actually went back and started playing Metroid Prime again. Off the trilogy off the digital download from last winter or whatever, and I just got the hankering to play, and now that I've gotten further, I just got to the what do they call it? It's the room. It's like the main Chozo.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
And the ghosts always pop every time you leave and come back. The freaking ghosts.
You gotta love that respawning enemies, man.
Oh god. I mean, you go through the door, turn around, and they're back. And now I just have to run for it. But, those motion controls, the pointer, not really motion, but just the pointer in that game with the nunchuck for strafing and moving forward. I mean, come on. It's like the most accurate and intuitive feeling controls, even more so than keyboard and mouse, in my opinion. Just amazing. I wish they would have pushed that further and made more games. Nintendo would have made more games like that. Really Metroid Prime 3 was the only one they did on the Wii and then the trilogy. But God, it just feels so good to play that game, and all the buttons, they utilize them. They're not too like use the minus button, hold it down to change your visor. I mean, everything just works, and it's just I can't stop playing that game. So that's actually taken up most of my time, but I have played Splatoon. I turned Smash on to check out the tournament modes and stuff. And then I've been playing Guacamelee. Downloaded that a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, I mean.
I was going to say, because I downloaded, I have Metroid Prime Trilogy soon. I need to get on it because it's just kind of sitting there. But I was going to go to the Wiimote. A lot of people slept on the Wiimote nunchuck. People think that, that controller was a piece of shit, and it's not. It really isn't. To me, that is the definitive way to play the Pikmin games. You don't play Pikmin with because when I got Pikmin 3, I tried to play with the gamepad. I'm like, no, where the hell is that Wiimote at? That is like the definitive way to play.
Oh
Pikmin.
yeah, that's the only way to play.
And then the collection on the Wii they had. That is a wonderful thing. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it works best for that game because it's not just super reflex heavy and like Call of Duty. I never cared for it just because the aiming down sight always felt weird with the motion with the pointer controls.
I can kind of go either way with it.
But for a slower paced adventure game, there's a lot of shooting and stuff, but it just feels so right. And it's reminded me why Red Knight always says he wants the next Metroid game to be Wii Remote Nunchuck no matter what if it's first person. And I'm thinking, well, the gyro controls on the gamepad will work. And now that I've been playing Metroid Prime again, like, God, I do agree. Like Wii Remote Nunchuck would be the preference. Gyro and the gamepad would be the second best option. So, but yeah, that's kind of getting into what another little topic I want to talk about, and that's backlogged games. I have a few games that I have purchased and still haven't played, and then there's also a couple more games I want to get. So I'll go first. I just picked up Batman Arkham City, the Armored Edition, and I haven't unsealed that yet. I have Metroid Other M still sealed, haven't played. And
you're gonna hit the controls of the game. I'm just gonna let you know right now. You're gonna hate the controls.
Yeah, probably.
Because I bought that on day one, and that sideways Wii remote shit. Oh my god!
I wish they just had the nunchuck. I mean,
I know that's what pisses me off. I'm like, you had an analog right there, and you didn't use it. All right, go ahead.
I would have bought that game if that was the standard controls. But anyway, the game that you were just talking about, Codename Steam, I still haven't taken it out of the plastic. I bought it launch day, and it's still in the plastic. So Batman and Codename Steam are my two top priorities for backlogged games. And then, once Arkham Knight is on the PC for $20, in 6 months, I'm going to pick that up. But you got anything on your backlog, anything you have that you haven't played yet, or anything you want to pick up?
I got Days Ex Human Revolution I bought like last week that's still sitting up here on my counter because I haven't actually played it. I'm looking at my Wii U eShop games real quick. I still need to finish. I started Shovel Knight. I just need to finish it. The Fire Emblem GBA games and I'm trying to see. Oh, and I bought Resident Evil Revelations on the when it was on, I think Capcom had a sale like I guess a month ago maybe, and I got it for like $20. So I need to play that. So I got a good chunk of stuff, and then with my 3DS, it's like Shin Megami Tensei 4, because God, that game is hard, and I'm not I'm not used to the Shin Megami Tensei series. It's taking me a minute to get through that. What else? I think that's the main stuff right now.
Yeah, and I just had a thought and it left my mind, but oh yeah, like the indie games, like I said, Guacamelee, but those went on sale. I don't know if they're still on sale. I've been meaning to get like Bit Trip Runner. I heard good things about. I downloaded Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, and I played it for like 20 minutes, and it didn't really hook me because Guacamelee is just such an amazing game. Like, so I'm gonna play that. I'm trying to get at least Metroid Prime done or Guacamelee finished before the update to Splatoon, because I think that's going to take a lot of my time. And then Mario Maker comes out September 10th or 11th if they haven't changed it. So when that comes out, that's going to take a lot of my time. So I want to try to get through a couple of these games before then. And then, once Mario Maker comes out, I don't know. We don't know other than Yoshi in October, we don't really have a clear date for anything else, I don't think, other than
if we're talking first party, I know what is it? Well, Legend of K came out last week, the anniversary game, and then we have Rodea coming out.
Oh, yep, that. Because we don't know when Fastest Racing Neo is coming out. We don't know when Fatal Frame's coming out.
And then I guess, and the people from the Nindies at home. One of the Freedom Planet is coming out next week.
That got delayed. I heard that got delayed to 2016.
No. I'm looking at it right now. It's August 13th.
Well, one version got pushed, I know.
I see the Wii U version. It says, I'm looking on NintendoEverything.com.
Let me look.
The dude sent a tweet saying it's coming out on August 13th. So I guess I think Freedom Flame was only playing for the Wii U. So
was it?
That one, yeah, it wasn't. The Nindies at home, I don't think would really even apply to the 3DS at all.
Well, what I'm saying was some of them were like Rives coming to all the systems. I thought. I thought Freedom Planet was like hitting PS4 and stuff too, but
was it? I knew it was on PC first, but I didn't know if it was hitting.
I'm not sure. But yeah, that's coming out August 13th, so I'm gonna pick that up because that game was fantastic.
And you have the demo, you get it off. You get it
15%.
Oh, it's 15. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I mean there's been a bit of a drought. I ain't gonna lie since Splatoon came out, but now we're gonna get a whole.
It don't really feel like it to me personally.
It did. Splatoon was. I really got back into Smash after Splatoon came out. Put a lot of time in that and Splatoon, but. We're about to get hit with a lot of games, just as Wii U owners or Wii U and 3DS owners. I can't imagine if I had like an Xbox One or something, and that might add 2 games to my 2015 lineup.
It's like if I had the other 2 consoles, I'll get 1 game for each.
I don't think there's anything hitting PS4 exclusive for the rest of this year that I'm interested in. If I don't even know of any, but
Street Fighter, that's about it.
That's coming out. I don't know.
They've been pushed. I thought that was coming out this year.
If they got it scheduled, I just know that beta had so many problems. I'd be curious if the game comes out.
I was gonna say, did it have a lot of problems? I didn't really look into it too much.
Well, that's what I read, but I didn't experience it for myself, so can't say. But anyway, there's a lot of stuff coming out. I want to try to get through something before all this stuff starts hitting. And the holidays are always a tough time because that's when all the games come out. So, that's kind of, for me personally, it was kind of a relief to not have to buy Call of Duty every year. Because even when I didn't want to, I still did. And now that I can't, then I'm definitely makes it easier. And then, some of the other annualized franchises I got tired of. So it's not as hectic as it used to be around the holidays. I know it was always Call of Duty, and I bought a couple of Assassin's Creeds in a row, and I was like, nope, didn't need that. For me personally, it'd be 3-4 years in between Assassin's Creed, and I still might not be ready to play the next one. But
oh, dude, I've taken so much of a long break from Assassin's Creed. I don't even care at this point.
I went from 2 to 4. And 2 had 2 spinoffs or 2 sequels, and then 3. And then I played 4, and 5 hours in, I was so bored. It felt like the same. It didn't feel like they really changed anything other than the sailing was kind of a nice
They
thing.
haven't. That's the problem with annualized series, is that there's not too much you can change. I mean, they're becoming like the sports games where it's like you can take about a 5-year break and not even notice that much of a difference.
Yeah, because the combat is really weak in that series. It's annoying, and
I don't do direct combat. I'll just do the sneak me around for that.
Like the sword fighting in 4 was it's so tedious and boring. Like if they would throw in some kind of combo system or Bayonetta-esque moves and stuff to really make the combat desirable, that'd take that game to a whole nother level. But obviously they don't do that. So
that's where that requires effort. We don't believe in that in 2015.
Well, they got a lot of people. They got a lot of people putting in a lot of efforts. The problem is it's got to get done, and it's got to be. They got this format, the Ubisoft format with you got to climb to a high spot to unlock the map, and then you unlock your quests and missions and side quests by unlocking more of the map, and then they just copy and paste that on Far Cry, Watch Dogs. Even the Crew had that formula, and it's like, come on, let's get something new.
We don't believe in new, man. We keep asking for innovation, but we keep buying the same franchises.
What are you talking about? You want new? Mario still jumps with the B button. 30 years later. I've seen somebody make that argument before.
Oh,
Mario
God.
never changes. It's still the B button to jump. And I'm like, I mean, it's a platformer. Jumping's not going to change, but now you can jump off walls. You can ground pound. You can triple jump, double jump. Like, there's so many changes they made without losing the core mechanic that it was just. I tried replying to that person, but it was futile. It's like that'd be like saying a racing game didn't change because you still use, for most games, you use the right trigger for gas and the left trigger for brake.
Hey, man, we need innovation, man. We don't need the same stuff.
Yeah, I want to use the right analog stick for gas, forward and back for brake. Like, that would be stupid. But anyway. All right, so let's talk about the Dragon Quest XI, the big news, the only real news that we got since the last Juice is Loose. And, everybody reported on it. It was kind of a big deal. Knee-jerk reactions. Everyone's assuming, what they saw, that the reveal that it's coming to NX, that, okay, well, if it's a PS4 game coming to NX running on Unreal 4, that means NX is equal to PS4. Confirmed, And that we got a lot of that. And I hadn't really talked about it. I mentioned it a little bit on Red Knight's Active Gamer Life number 43 podcast, but I thought we'd break it down a little bit deeper and, pros and cons, or devil's advocate, if you will, to what that really means. And first and foremost, what did you think? Did they say it's coming to NX to get publicity, or do you think it came out? And then do you also think that their rebuttal afterwards, or their correction that it's being considered, is just PRBS? Do you believe it's absolutely confirmed? We'll start with that.
First off, well, the problem is for one, I don't even believe that they even have access to an NX dev kit at this point. Like, I don't think they have the NX or even the prototype of the NX in their hands. At best, I could think that they might be talking to Nintendo about it. That's the only thing I can think. And Dragon Quest is always going to come out on Nintendo consoles, which is why it was also confirmed for the 3DS, which is why when I heard the people were saying it's just as strong as the PS4, I'm like, well, it could just end up being an up-res port of the 3DS version. That we could easily end up getting that at the same time. Do I think it's confirmed NX? No. And not be, well, see, it's kind of hard. Cause I'll put it this way. If the NX actually ends up being region free, I don't think it'll be localized. I'll say that. I have because the last ones haven't been localized. But whether I think it's confirmed for the NX, not really. I think it's a strong possibility it will end up on the console, but I wouldn't say it's confirmed.
So you think they're backtracking or whatever?
I think they're backtrack. They got overzealous. I feel like that's what they happened. They were like, well, we know, like, it's like they were paying attention to the whole NX rumors, and they're like, well, you know what? If we just say that, because it is another Nintendo console, and they have a tendency of putting those games on Nintendo consoles, it's like, well, we're just gonna say that and see how the reaction is, and then they kind of backpedaled when they realized that, all right, the reaction was fine. I think they were just gauging for reaction. I really think that's what it was.
I think Nintendo stepped in and said, hey, hold up. We haven't announced the system yet. You can't be...
You don't even have a dev kit for it.
Yeah, I think they do. I believe they have a dev kit. And I think that what they said first was the truth, that it's coming to NX. And that's just my gut feeling. And then we're considering it. That's just PR stuff to cover their ass, because Nintendo, like I said, hasn't even confirmed or talked about the NX. So you can't confirm a game for it before Nintendo even talks about it, because that basically confirms it's a console. And so because
I was gonna say, so you think it's like one of those situations like how like the Facebook thing with Mario Maker, where it was like it was mentioned and then the tweet was taken down, and because the tweet was taken down, it was like, no, that's like a soft confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was just a rumor and it wasn't worth saying anything, then why would they take it down? So you think it's like that?
Yeah, I think they probably were going to get in trouble. They probably got in trouble for whoever said that, just because, like I said, Nintendo hasn't announced the system yet, and it kind of overstepped, their boundaries there by confirming the game on stage coming to NX. But at the same time, look at the positivity that it had. So it's like, all right, Nintendo. I mean, you can't, obviously they have to wait till after the holiday push with the Wii U games, but to them, they got to say, wow, look at how this news spread and people were excited. So maybe some positivity can come out of that, from Nintendo seeing how excited people got. And so anyway, let's get on to the thing that I wanted to, I said in the beginning, like a lot of people are like, oh, NX is equal to PS4, confirmed. It's running Unreal 4, blah, blah, blah. And like you said, it could be a port of the 3DS version. It could be, we have no idea of that. But like we were talking off air, the Wii U could run Dragon Quest 11. If you've seen the visuals, it's a very cel shaded art,
It's
art
not
style.
graphically intensive.
It's a good looking game. It has a huge draw distance, but I rewatched the Game Awards Zelda U footage, and that game has equally as big of draw distance. And when Epona's running through the grass and the trees, like, it looked equivalent to me. So I think Dragon Quest 11 could run on the Wii U no problem. So obviously the NX is going to be able to handle it. So I think people need to calm down a little bit. Maybe they have since then, but to me, Dragon Quest 11 on NX does not say anything about its power, like I said, because I think the Wii U could handle it fairly easily. Just from the visual style and stuff, is not super graphic intensive. Maybe not hit it at a 60 frames per second, but definitely a 30 frames per second. So what do you think about the potential of that game if it's a PS4 version running on NX? Does that, in your mind, does that mean the NX is close to PS4 power? Or?
Well, it's kind of hard to comment on it because I partially don't care as much as some other people do. Like, it's like, if it's as strong, I know it'll be stronger than the Wii U, so my mind defaults to Xbox One. That's where my mind defaults personally. To me, that's enough, because that means that at the very least it should get all the multiplets. But if it's as strong as if it's close to the PS4, I would think more of it being in between Xbox One and PS4, more than just PS4 quality. Should it be? Maybe, but it also just depends on the architecture of the game. Because if it is way close to the PS4, it might actually be PS4 quality. Because I can't see Nintendo doing its weird architecture again and it hitting that. Nor do I think they would announce it that early. They would mention it that early if it was so hard to develop for. So if anything, I'm more believing if it's close to the PS4, I would believe it's a more confirmation that the NX will be way easier to develop for. If anything,
like it's going to be possibly x86 or something that's really easier to port x86 over to. I mean, if that's what it says to me, more than the power of the NX, because like I just said, I think the Wii U could run Dragon Quest 11 without too much of a sacrifice.
Yeah, there aren't that many PS4 games that I feel like you would lose that much quality over if you were to port to the Wii U. There are a few, probably like maybe something like Bloodborne, or like even
like Infamous would take a hit.
And all you would lose really there is more graphical effects than anything. So if it ends up looking like the PS4 version, then I'll just say that means the NX will be better to develop for. And to me, that's a bigger issue than it being like amazing graphically. Because I know at the very least it will not be worse than the Wii U, which means it can only get better. So if it's easier to develop for and it's better graphically, that's already a good thing. That means that we'll get more games just because it'll be easier to port it to.
Mm-hmm. And it's just, I mean, it's such an unknown. I mean, they got such a history of like making special chipset and doing it their own way. But did the Wii U teach them that they can't do that this time? Because the PS3 was a big lesson for Sony. Even though it sold 80 million, they still lost billions of dollars on that cell processor and stuff. So maybe the Wii U was the same lesson for Nintendo as the PS3 was, without, you know, it selling as many units. But Nintendo didn't actually lose as much money as Sony did with the PS3. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But the, you know, devil's advocate side of it, to the people saying that the Unreal 4 confirmed, like we said, the NX could honestly be a 3DS architecture. Like, it could be that programming.
I think you just hurt so many people's hearts with that.
It would. But
I think
about it.
Hurt them, man.
Just think about it. They put out the new 3DS. They took the time, R&D, to come up with the new model 3DS, and they haven't really dropped the price on the 3DS. There's a 3DS version of Dragon Quest 11. We saw footage of it. It looks pretty. I mean, it looks, to me, it looks fine, and, you know, it doesn't look
well.
PS4 version, but just think, if like the coding architecture, obviously it's going to have way more processing power, way more RAM. That's just, at this point, it's not even a question. But what if it's just, okay, our 3DS, our handheld's doing well. We're going to make it so if someone puts a game on the 3DS, it could be easily upscaled to the NX, vice versa. People get, basically, instead of an exclusive game for Nintendo 3DS, now it's available on 2 platforms, broadens your user base, and you know, more sales. I mean, that is a possibility. It's not a likely possibility, and you know, the people would be butthurt if that was the case. If Nintendo said "F you" to x86 and said we're going 3DS architecture.
Well, I was gonna say, because it goes into the question. It's a little bit off topic, but I'm curious. Do you think the 3DS is gonna get replaced anytime soon, or within the next 2 or 3 years?
I would say 2 years.
The reason why I say that,
I would think a year from this holiday, because that's when the new 3DS hit Japan. So I'll say, no, not a year from this, 2 years from this holiday. So 2017, I would think no later than that would they have a new handheld or a new system, portable system.
The reason why I say that is because if let's say your theory is right and they go like to 3DS architecture, well, if the 3DS isn't going to be around much longer, it's not going to do them that much good to do that, in my mind, personally. That's why I'm less inclined to believe that, but I can see them doing it where it's easy to port from the 3DS to the Wii U.
Well, then,
I mean, not Wii U, NX.
For all we know, the NX could easily be the fusion system that they talked about. You know,
see, I'm not, and I'm still kind of on the fence.
Where you have a console and you buy a portable, and they work together seamlessly, and it's gonna all be just a theory, you know, just to look at a potential other scenario, and they're both based off of the programming, you know, whatever architecture, whatever coding needs to be to make a 3DS game, which seems to be a pretty good architecture, because developers don't seem to have any trouble getting pretty impressive games to run on the 3DS. So, I mean, maybe if you just take that coding and you give it more power, the results maybe could be quite incredible. We don't know. So it's just something to think about. You know, it's 0.5% chance or less, but it's just a possibility. It's not completely out of the realm of Nintendo to do something like that, and just really, you know, the tears are going to be falling if that's the case. All the x86 dudes going to be a little sad, but
I think I would want it to happen just for the reaction videos. Just for those reactions, I would die laughing.
Just like if the NX incorporates a dual screen option, the 3DS and the next handheld, whatever, has dual screen. I mean, it would just be so much better for developers to say, okay, we got this 3DS.
We don't want gimmicks, though, Juice. We can't have
I want a standard controller, but you're still going to be able to play with the standard controller, because the 3DS plays basically like a standard controller.
See, that's the thing. People don't complain about gimmicks when they sell well. You complain about gimmicks when they don't sell well. Because I don't think anyone looked at the DS when it came out and was like, that's totally how I wanted to play.
Yeah.
Most people looked at the DS and went, what the fuck is that? And then we got it, and it sold well, and it's like, oh, this is genius. And then the Wii came out, this is genius. Even though people nowadays say they don't care for the Wii mode. Well, what's the difference between those advancements and the Wii U's? Oh, because the Wii U didn't sell well. I get it. Not because it's actually a bad idea. I think almost most Wii U owners say they still want to have the gamepad. So I don't think it's the actual technology they use. I just think the fact that it didn't sell well is what people are coming out the woodwork with.
Yeah, but at the same time, like the NX can't be revealed and rely on some expensive touchscreen controller.
Oh no, I'm not saying
even though I want support for it and a newer version down the line would be great, because eventually I'm going to wear out the gamepad, like the analog sticks and triggers and stuff. So I hope there's some kind of solution there. But like you said, if the Wii U had taken off and the third-party games sold better, and Wii U's at 30-40 million right now, no one would be calling the gamepad a gimmick, because I think there's enough games that utilize it well enough, from Splatoon, even Guacamelee. I mean, having that Super Metroid style game with that map always right down. I mean, I'm constantly glancing at the map, so I don't, helps me navigate. And it's small little touches. It's like going from Blu-ray, from DVD, like jumping up to a Blu-ray player at first. Everyone's like, I don't really see the difference. But then you start realizing you got that pop-up menu. You can search the extras without pausing, going out to a different menu. And when you went back to watch a DVD, it looks blurry, and the audio isn't quite as good. So there's subtle little differences that the gamepad offers and the Wii U offers that I think if people suddenly didn't have it, they might be like, whoa, I kind of miss that. Like when you go to set up your account and set up your system, and you're using a D-pad and the A button to.
Oh, dude, I feel that way. I feel that way when I go from like the Wii U to the PS3. I'm like, oh my god, I fucking hate this controller.
It is like I stopped sending messages on my PS3. I gave up. I came up with the most shorthand you could ever think of, and then I just gave up. Like, I'm not typing out this crap every time I want to send a message. I just text on my phone that point. And their partnership with DNA, who knows, Nintendo's operating system could work one-to-one with a smartphone app with your live friends list right on your phone or something. So they might not need a touchscreen controller, but they might use a smartphone tablet to replace that and have it work way better than Smart Glass ever even thought to work.
Well, I was gonna say, how would people feel if that was the case, that you could like play your 3DS games on your phone? Like it like the NX fuses with the 3DS, and then they already said it's gonna be able to connect to your phone and whatnot. Well, if it's a fusion system and your 3DS can connect to your NX and your NX connects to your phone, couldn't that mean you could already be playing like Kid Icarus Uprising, for example, or Kid Icarus Uprising 2 on your tablet?
Possibly. I mean, we don't really know what that partnership's going to bring, but
I know.
I just know that I think they have a good idea that DNA partnership's going to bear some fruit. That's just my feeling. And maybe at first we're going to be like, "What? That sounds terrible," but I think it's going to be good. But let's get on to the last part of this Dragon Quest XI announcement, and that's like, if I feel it's confirmed. I feel the game, they slipped up in the games that's being developed for the NX. You said it. Those Dragon Quest games hardly ever get localized. The Wii had a bunch of them. 3DS, DS, they all get Dragon Quest games. The Wii U, I don't think. Maybe I got one.
Yeah, the Wii U has a Dragon. I think it has 10 on it.
Okay.
But they just didn't. They never localized it.
So as good as it,
go ahead.
As exciting as people were to see, okay, this Dragon Quest XI NX, wow, this means third parties are coming back. But like what we just said, Dragon Quest games almost always hit Nintendo systems in Japan. Like they don't really skip. If it's not on the main home console, it's on the handheld. So do you think that this confirmation means anything for third-party support being better on the NX?
No, because it has nothing to do. You're talking about a company that already releases these games on Nintendo consoles. It's like saying, "Oh, NX is getting a new Monster Hunter game." What is that supposed to be? Like you would have to announce something like a Final Fantasy game or I don't know, a Mortal Kombat game. Like you would have to announce something that actually means something that actually. It has to be a game we don't normally get. Like if we got like Tekken 7 or some shit, that's a huge issue to me. Because we already know that a lot of these companies, what they do is they like put their games on some of the Nintendo shit, and they take the money from that, and they're gonna make a completely different game and won't put that on there. That's what Capcom did with Resident Evil. That's what they do with the Phoenix Wright series. That's what they did with Monster Hunter. All those three are mainly specific to Nintendo consoles. And then when we get something like Street Fighter 5, oh, I'm sorry, that's PS4 exclusive, guys. You can't. Did you expect? Oh, Resident Evil Revelations 2. Did you expect that to be on the? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think that was gonna be on a Nintendo? Oh, what made you think that? Oh, because the first game was no. You guys are silly.
Yeah, and I wish that this Dragon Quest XI meant a brighter future for third parties, but I think we just made some pretty compelling reasons why. I'm sorry to burst people's bubble, but it means almost nothing other than the fact that the NX is going to be a viable platform for Dragon Quest games, which is no surprise since, like I said, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, Wii. I don't think GameCube had one, but in Japan they always come out, and they don't even hit the US, so it really doesn't mean much.
Well, if Iwata's whole region free thing he said before he passed, if that actually remains true, we'll be able to at least import the game, I guess.
Except for a game like that, it's going to have a ton of text. You're not going to be able to.
Hey, I've seen people do pretty reckless things, man. Hey, listen, I'm an anime fan. There's a lot of Japanese games we don't get, but you on the PlayStation 3 or 4, fans will translate that shit.
So, yeah, it was exciting, and one of the first confirmed games for the NX, or potentially confirmed games. But when you sit and think about it, I didn't want to burst people's bubble, but let's look at it for what it is. Like I said, doesn't really say much about the power. The Unreal 4 engine is what's the PS4 version's running on. If the Wii U handles Unreal Engine 3, Batman Arkham City uses that. So the thought that Nintendo would make a new system that couldn't run a current game engine, that's just common sense to me. So I didn't think that meant a whole lot. A lot of people blew that out of proportion, but like I said, it was something new.
We're in speculation mode right now. This is going to be an issue until that thing is even announced.
I said I wasn't going to talk about NX again, but there wasn't much else to talk about, and this got everyone excited, so I figured we better address it. I do want to mention to the viewers, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you click the bottom left corner, it says be part of the conversation, it takes you to the Google Plus page. Hit the Q&A app. I see Capable Tie 7 has a few questions on here. If you guys want to ask anything, we're about to get to the Q&A part. And this is going to be a shorter podcast because just Terrell and I. We don't have the usual gang, but yeah, so let's get to a couple questions we got here, and then if more come in, we'll answer them. Retro Death, this is related to what we were just talking about. About Dragon Quest XI, not only is it true what you guys are saying, but Dragon Quest games rarely ever get released in the West. People get all hyped, but meanwhile, how is that Dragon Quest X on the Wii U coming for you guys?
Yeah.
This announcement means nothing for nobody. Well, it means nothing for the West, US and Europe, really. It only really means anything for Japan.
I was gonna say, I was looking at the Wikipedia for Dragon Quest games. Dragon Quest X came out Dragon Quest X came out on the Wii U like at launch. That was a launch game. No, wait. Is it?
It was a port of the
Yeah.
Wii. I think it wasn't on the Wii as well. Wasn't it like a port of the Wii version?
Oh yeah. It was originally the Wii version, and then they ported it to the Wii U. And I guess it was like a launch game for the Wii U, and we never got that. Hell, we haven't heard anything about that game.
I mean, when's the last time anyone listened to this played a Dragon Quest game? I remember on the NES, like Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3, the top-down old style RPG pop-up boss, whatever they call that. You just walk on the map and then boom, you're in a battle. I couldn't stand those. So while it is cool, it's nice to know the NX is getting something, but like we said, the Wii U got Dragon Quest X, so put a little perspective on it there. And then let's focus on the games that we know are coming to the West here in 2015 and stop getting so excited over 2016 and beyond games. I mean,
well, that's because a lot of these guys are PlayStation 4 and Xbox One owners, and they don't have anything else to play. That's the other thing.
Grenades launched. hey, I will say Xbox One Halo 5 will be the top selling single system game this holiday season. I don't know.
I think Mario Maker has a shot.
I think so too, but I think Halo 5 is going to really push Xbox Ones. I don't see Mario Maker really jumping the Wii U sales up too much. It will help if people see those commercials like that grew up on the old games, could persuade them. But I think Halo 5 is going to be like single system best selling. Maybe the PS4 version of a multi-plat might be up there, but I think Mario Maker, Halo 5 are going to be right up there. And if I was a Halo fan, I'd be really excited. I love science fiction. Something about the Halo gameplay just never really spoke to me. I played the first one and the third one, and I don't really have a desire to play anymore. So, but I'm just Nintendo fanboy. So,
well, I'm not even gonna lie, because I came into the Xbox generation so late. Like the first Xbox console I'd ever heard of was the 360, and that was because I went to a friend's house to play Halo. That was my first time ever been playing Halo. Halo, to me, I was never a shooter fan, so I was already turned off, and I couldn't stand the 360 controller when I first got it. Like when I first held that thing, it aggravates the shit out of me. So Halo was never a franchise I was never interested in, which also explains some of my disdain for the Microsoft brand. Not Microsoft, I mean Xbox brand. That's what I mean. But I'm not too worried about it. I have other things to play.
I have no problem buying a Microsoft system. If the games were there, I'd have an Xbox One. The future maybe looking brighter.
We'll see.
But let's see what Scalebound looks like. If Quantum Break's made any progress and Crackdown, and I do like Phil Spencer. I like him a lot, and
I don't mind Phil.
He's the only reason I would like. I'm still considering possibly getting an Xbox One this year, but it'd have to be like below $300 for me to pull the trigger.
I don't think they're going to drop it anymore, personally.
You never know. So,
well, I mean, they've already dropped it $150 in like a year. That's kind of nuts.
All right, let's get to. We got questions coming in now. So,
all right.
Capable Tie 7. Do you think when the Wii U is over that it will have the best exclusive lineup of any Nintendo system? That's gonna be hard because that you got to take the NES out of the equation because it really didn't have competition. So it had so many more exclusives. Super NES and Genesis were a little more even, but I think the Wii U has some of the best versions of those franchises like Mario Kart, Smash. Some people think 3D World. It's not quite my favorite, but I think it'll be right up there. God, it's hard to say because the Wii had Galaxy 1 and 2, probably the two best 3D Mario games.
And Skyward Sword.
It had 2 Zelda games. It had Metroid Prime 3. It had the Wii Sports and Resort. But it didn't have a ton, but it had some really, really good ones. So
I would say I would put Wii U at least in top 3.
Yeah, and to my opinion, the GameCube was the weakest because I thought Sunshine felt rushed. and not quite
That's the first
polished.
time this is the first time I've heard that. I've never heard anyone call Sunshine Rush.
The final boss with Bowser had severe frame rate drops. Instead of having a full 120 stars, they threw in those blue coin searches that filled in like 40 stars. It was just BS. That's what tells me they released the game before it was fully fleshed out, because all the other 3D Mario games had 120 legitimate stars, not some scavenger hunts for blue coins. So Wind Waker, they had to cut dungeons to get the game released, even though it was a great game. At that point, I think the HD version fixed a lot of their mistakes, but you know, you had Metroid Prime 1 and 2, fabulous games, but you had a weak 3D Mario game, in my opinion, and Mario Kart Double Dash didn't really speak to me. So
you know how many people you angered with that statement?
I know, but
that's like people's favorite Mario Kart game. I think that's still people's favorite Mario Kart game.
That is fine. Mario Kart 8 crushes it. So for me, I don't think the Wii U will be the best, but like you said, it's up there.
Yeah, it's up there in my opinion. I say it has my favorite version of Mario Kart. I kind of want to say Smash. The only thing that stopped me, Smash is always hard for me, so I'm gonna leave that one up the air. I think it has the best version of Pikmin. I went back and looked at and tried out some of the Pikmin games. I think it has the best Pikmin game.
And I think New Super Mario Brothers U is one of the best 2D Mario games, and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is the best DK.
Well, I mean, it's not like DK had a lot of competition. I mean, let's think about it. What was on the GameCube? The Bonga games?
Well, they had Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 on the Super NES. So,
well, I mean, yeah, I'm just talking about. I'm talking about in terms of top three. I mean, like, what Donkey Kong kind of, I'm not gonna say died, but kind of took a break from its traditional gameplay for a while. We got a lot of the gimmick games, if you will, because I think even the Wii version was just like a sequel to the Barrel. Was it Barrel Blast?
No, they had Donkey Kong Country Returns. I'm talking
about the first. I'm talking about the beginning of the Wii. I know.
I don't remember. Returns. I don't remember one. There was one. Yeah, it was a port that used the Wii remote. It was just a port.
Yeah,
but anyway, I think the Wii U's had some stellar games. I think the Wii had some really good exclusives.
I want a sequel to Tatsunoko versus Capcom so bad. That was such a good game. People slept on that, and people slept on Mormos and the Demon Blade, which was funny because when the Vita owners got it, they were like, "Oh," I was like, "You didn't buy this shit on the Wii when it came out like 3 years ago." I want to hear that shit. People also don't realize that we had a lot of hidden gems in there.
Yeah,
and I guess for the Wii U, that would be like Bayonetta and probably Bayonetta. Oh, no,
here's the answer to the question. It's debatable. Like, seriously, we'll never come to a conclusion because Super NES had an amazing exclusive lineup. N64 had, for me, Mizza he's gonna die inside a little bit, but the N64 to me I didn't really support that system by buying too many exclusive games. I
didn't either, actually.
I think I have 9 games total left from I lost a couple, traded one in, and I don't know. It just wasn't the generation for me because that's when I graduated high school and I was doing other things. But anyway, let's move on because we can talk about that forever.
All
right, Mr. Bushido. Are any of you guys big Dragon Quest fans? Dragon Quest 4 and 5 on the DS as well as 8 on the PS2 are some of the best classic RPGs ever. I don't play RPGs. Never played a Dragon Quest game, so probably not.
Dragon Quest. I'm big into RPGs, but Dragon Quest was always. I never saw it too appealing, but I haven't played one, and that's partially because the only thing I knew about Dragon Quest before I actually looked into the game is the fact that the same guy who does Dragon Ball Z did the character designs, and I was like, that's literally all I knew about the game until I looked at it, and I was like, it's an RPG. I was like, I'm good. There were so many RPGs to play at that point because you had everything. You had like Final Fantasy, Golden Sun. Yeah, you had other games to play. I was just kind of like, I'm good.
Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
So did you ever play a Dragon Quest game? Are you familiar with the storyline?
Nope, not at all. I think I watched a little bit of the. No. I was about to say the anime, but I think that was Blue Dragon. I'm thinking of. Never mind.
So that answers Shadow Hero 43's question about asking you about the story. Yeah.
Don't ask me about the story. I don't know shit.
Yeah, me and Terrell have not played those games, so. All right, let's see. This one's a good one for you. This is from Mr. Bushido. Do you think Gen 7 Pokemon games are coming out next year since the new Gen 7 Pokemon was leaked?
I know what he's talking about.
What do you guys think should return and be added? I have no comment on Pokemon, so.
We'll see. Because what he's referring to is Pokemon has kind of turned into a yearly movie thing in Japan. Like every year there's a new movie. And I think for the 17th movie, there was a teaser of this really weird Pokemon that I don't really view. It literally looks like a blob. I was surprised people even viewed it as a Pokemon, whatever. It said it was teased for a new Pokemon. People were like, is Gen 7 coming out? If anything, I think that's an extension of Gen 6. They've never done a generation and not added, well, I'm not going to say not added more Pokemon, but they've never done like one generation game. Like for Gen 1 and 2, you had, your gold and crystal and then like yellow. I mean, Gen 2, yeah, Gen 2 you had your gold and silver and then you had crystal. Gen 1 it was red, blue, and then yellow. For Gen 6, they're not going to just give us the remake. I think we're going to get like one more X and Y related game, like Gen 6 game. And that'll probably come next year. Because, we're getting, Super Mystery Dungeon this year. What should be, I'm hoping they fix that fucking frame rate. The one thing about X and Y that sucked is they did not have that frame rate locked when the battles were going on. Like when you were just in your kid form going to town, it was fine. But when you got into them battles, and especially if you turned on 3D, that frame rate it would chug, and it's like that was my biggest complaint when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was announced. I was like, I know they didn't fix that frame rate that quick, and sure enough, they didn't fix the frame rate. So I hope
was it still a problem even on the new 3DS?
Yeah, because they didn't. I guess the new 3DS doesn't change too much because it still slows down. It's not like terrible. It only really happens in like double, triple battles and like horde battles and stuff. And if you turn the 3D on, I really hope, if anything, I hope they fix that. Maybe fix the stupid control issue where like, and they kind of fixed it in Oris where you could run at 360 degrees, but like sometimes like depending on whether you were in a building or not, it limited you to like 8 directional movement instead of like full 360 degrees. Or if you had the roller skates on, then you could go 360. So I hope they fix some of the smaller things like that. But like X and Y technically, besides those few little problems, wasn't really flawed. So I think it's another Gen 6 game and improvements. That's about it. And they're probably adding more Pokemon because Gen 6, for those who don't know, has the weakest lineup, has the least amount of new Pokemon added. So I think Gen 6 will probably add, the second Gen 6 game will probably add like maybe 40, 50 more Pokemon and improve technical features.
All right. No more Pokemon questions, people, because
I don't think there's anything else I can really ask. Because I don't know shit about the Mystery Dungeon series, so they better not bring that up.
Yeah. I gotta take a lot of shit because I've never played a Pokemon game in my life.
Oh my god, that's disgusting. Don't ever you didn't play at least one?
Nothing, not even one. I've never think I've even seen one being played.
Oh my god, what?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I played the 3DS Pokemon viewer where you could look at the Pokemon where you got new ones every day.
Really?
That's it.
Really?
I'm looking at these things like some of them just look really dumb.
At least if you should at least play one. I would like at least play one, Juice. Like play like X or Y. That's one of the easiest ones to play. It's probably the most open for newcomers. If you play at least one, play like X or Y. Like seriously.
Before I die, I'm gonna play a Pokemon game.
Oh god.
I feel like I don't want to get sucked into that.
You don't want to get sucked into the amazingness.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, and then the meta game too. But, go ahead.
Here's a question I can answer. Capable Tie 7 asks, would giving their next handheld and home console a shared library be a bad idea? For him, he would only buy the home console if they did that. I also would only buy the home console because the only reason I have a 3DS is to play Super Mario 3D Land. That was the only reason I bought it. And I purchased a few other games since then, Luigi's Mansion 2. So if all those games were on both, depending on the price and stuff, I don't see myself getting the handheld if it had a shared lineup.
That's literally my biggest reason why I don't want the Fusion system. I don't want. I guess from a consumer's perspective, that would be more enjoyable. But I feel like that's a dumb business decision to make it where they share a library. Why even make the handheld at that point? Like the handheld might serve some convenience, but it turns into the Vita. Like the Vita kind of suffers that problem because half the games on the Vita are like PlayStation 3 games, or like dumb sequels like the God of War Ascension and like the Uncharted. I forget what it's called. It's just like they're just like PlayStation 3 games scaled down.
They're really dumbed down versions.
And I'm like, well, why would I do that and not just play the original Uncharted? If I'm an Uncharted fan, I want to play the PS3 or PS4 version. I want to play the fucking Vita version.
Well,
so it's like the same. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I made the point that's, in my opinion, why the PSP and Vita never succeed because they don't get their own games, like good versions of the series people want to play.
Well, yeah, that's my biggest thing against the Fusion. I'm like, if we're gonna do the like, if you take like for example the 3DS and Wii U situation, it's like, would you play Luigi's Mansion on the Wii U or the 3DS? And everyone's gonna say the Wii U. Like, there's no reason, especially considering their prices in terms of consoles aren't that different. Like the 3DS, I think the highest it was $200 for like the XL, and then like the highest the Wii U was $350. Well, I could spend an extra $150 and get every game on the 3DS at like high resolution and probably with better controls. Like, why even waste my money like that? I don't think that's smart.
Here's a reason why they might do it, because Nintendo, they like to stay profitable. Their shareholders put a lot of pressure on them. So do you make a system with a shared library in Japan? The handheld is going to sell it crazy. I mean, just fly off the shelves. US will have some support for the handheld, but mostly counts the home console. And then they're like, all right, time to make another Mario Kart game. They only have to make one Mario Kart game. In Japan, it sells on the handheld. In the US and Europe, it sells on the home console. Yeah, it would make them lose money because selling Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS and Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U is going to make them more money in the long run, but potentially not having that cost of packaging and promoting two separate systems and advertising two separate games. I could see them doing it from a business point of view and not really looking at the end consumer's point of view. But anyway, that's just a reason why.
Well, I would say that, and it would also probably help with franchise fatigue, because the biggest problem I've noticed is that what they'll do is they'll put two iterations of a franchise on the 3DS and like the Wii U or the or like the the NX or whatever. Like for Mario Party, we had a Mario Party, not Mario Party. We had Mario Party Island. Was it Island Tour on the 3DS, and then you gave us Mario Party 10 like a year or two later. Like the same thing with Mario Tennis. There was a Mario Tennis game on the 3DS. We're getting one this year on the Wii U. It's like it would help with franchise fatigue, because then they wouldn't just keep looping fucking franchises between two systems.
It definitely would. There's certain games, honestly, I don't think Mario Kart, even though they've had some really good handheld ones,
we want that console.
But they do that so that you don't have to wait 6 years for Mario Kart, because you get the handheld one, and 2-3 years later you get the console one. But if they did it unified library, we might get Mario Kart every 3 years. So I don't know. There's pros and cons to it. Hopefully the people in charge have weighed all the pros and cons and positive negatives in, and they're going to come up with the best solution. But it's hard to say without really knowing. But yeah, there's definitely issues doing it both ways. So we'll see what they decide.
Right.
All right. So Fruit Puncher. Fruit Puncher, because he's got a bunch of R's. What are both your likes and dislikes of the Smash tourney? Terminator Juice, would you be hosting another Smash tournament in the near future? I didn't spend a whole lot of time, but I'll say I tried to join tournaments. Almost all of them were full. Then one said open. It was a small one-on-one for Glory. I forget if it's 16. I forget how many people in the small.
Yes.
I joined, and then it's 22-minute counter counts down. So I'm like, does that mean it starts in 22 minutes no matter what? Or does that mean it has 22 minutes for people, enough people to fill it? I waited 5 and backed out. And then when I looked for it again, like a minute later, it was full. So I tend to believe you have to wait the full minute. So I didn't care for that. Then I joined Game Explain, did one, and it was just like waiting for 4 people to get in the same group. Then you'd fight, and it had items on and stuff. And like it ended 10 minutes later. And I'm just like, I don't know. That's not really a tournament to me. Like, you can't just, it's not like Mario Kart. They want it to be like if you fight 10 matches in a row, let's say you win 7 of them, and at the end you win with 7 wins. Like, that doesn't feel like a tournament for a fighting game to me. So,
well, I think they chose the rule like that. I think what they should have done is just single elimination instead of doing the stupid.
What they should have had was letting the created tournaments work just like the ones Nintendo does, where you have the bracket, and when you see everybody, and then you see your opponent, and then you fight, and then once everybody else's match was done, like you could say, okay, I'm gonna have 16-person tournament. Here's the password. It's 1-on-1 for Glory, and it's gonna be between 8 and 9. So 8 o'clock hits, people join, you get like 4 minutes, 5 minutes for people to join. If they don't, then the person that's there gets the win, goes up. Why take away that option? I mean, why not give us that bracket?
That was you could literally, my opinion is literally almost the same as Twilight's, because for one, the biggest problem with tourneys right now is, for one, as you were saying before, the custom Nintendo ones where it's like 6 or 7 and they get full up so too quickly. There needs to be more of those, and the wait times are just aggravating as hell. The other problem is that if you do your create attorney thing, it has to be 4-on-4. It has to be a 4-player match. Like, they don't have a 1-on-1 option. That's like the biggest, to me, that's the biggest problem the attorney, like the create attorney section has, is that you can't do 1-on-1s. I don't think Game Explain, I think they chose the point system so you can play as much as you want, but because there's so much waiting involved, there's no reason to do it that way. I would have just done it like you were thinking, the single elimination. You play 4 players, you fight, whoever wins goes to the next round, and you do another 4 players, and whoever wins out of that, and eventually it'll boil down to like a final 4-player match. And then,
well, apparently the final match is always 1-on-1, even in if you
really,
but that's like, I'm not sure how it works. But I know the ones Nintendo create work like a tournament should. They have the bracket, and you move up and you face the winner of the other bracket.
I really think Game Explain just messed up the way they create the tournament.
Yeah, and it's just, there's room for improvement, and I didn't feel compelled to make a tournament. Red Knight's going to try one tomorrow. I think he put like first person to 10 wins. So it's just, people are going to play until somebody gets the 10th win, then it's going to end. But what happens if there's 2 matches simultaneous and you both get your 10th win? I don't know. So I think
it just turns into a 1-on-1 match at that point.
If you guys, the guys that are asking if I'm going to do a tournament and stuff, the reason I did mine a couple weeks ago is because I knew that this was going to happen. I even said it. Go back and watch my tournament announcement. I said I didn't think the way the tournament is going to work that Nintendo's creating in the update was going to be very fun. The way they were going to do it, like Mario Kart 8, where it's like you just fight and fight and fight, and then you get points, and or you can have, you know, based on wins. Yeah, it'll be fun once somebody in the community does one, and we get a bunch of like Red Knights tomorrow on Tuesday. If we get a bunch of people, you know, see Twilight in there, see Francis from Player Essence, see Terrell playing, you know, that it could be fun. But I did experience some lag in the Game Explain one, but theirs is worldwide. So if I do one, unfortunately, sorry, a few people, the first one I'm gonna try is gonna be
US only.
Probably US only, just to see how if the lag's any better or worse because of the 4-player nature of it. When it's 1-on-1, it's not really bad, but when you got 4 players,
yeah,
it's hard to have somebody be.
Most people have already said, like, and that's just Smash in general on the Wii U. It's like it can run 4 players, but like you have a higher probability of it going to shit with 4 players.
For sure. And hopefully they'll take some feedback. This will be a little test, and we'll see some improvements made relatively soon. And then I'm gonna wait to do a tournament until potentially we get some improvements. So that's my answer on the tournament. I wish it was better, but it's here, and yeah, it is what it is. Wasn't going to be the great thing I wanted it to be and make me play Smash every day, but so yeah, we had a couple questions about that. Hard 25 asked the same question. Here's one since we're talking about Smash, Mr. Bushido, who do you guys want to be added into the Smash from the Smash ballot? I mean, my number one was Bayonetta from the beginning. I voted for her 2 or 3 times. So that's definitely still the case for me. But the Inkling boy and girl are definitely climbing the charts.
First things first, I mean, I meant to say the first time you mentioned this user's name, Mr. Bushido. I'm gonna take a guess. Is your YouTube name based off of a One Piece reference? Yes or no? And I'll look in the comments later after this is over to check, because I think it is, but it's something that bugged. I'm a huge One Piece fan. I was like, that sounds familiar. But going into the whole Smash Mouth thing, I've never had any major first party picks, to be honest with you. And the ones I did have as first party picks, they're not really. There's no reason to do them. Like I've always wanted to see a Daisy representation, but there's no reason to do that, and it's not like her abilities would be any different, which is why I never cared to put her. But the one I actually did vote for was Shantae. I really like the idea of Shantae being in the game. But I know as a third-party character, she probably won't have as much priority. And also being somewhat of an indie. I don't know if I count Shantae as indie or not, because she's been on Nintendo consoles since the Game Boy Color.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if she's indie. But that was
I don't. She would be in a PlayStation All-Stars game because if I don't know who the character is, and it's not saying like I know every character from every series, but I think most people's reaction would be, "Who the hell is that?" Like, you can't have someone in Smash that people say that about. Who the hell is that? So
wait, really? Because that's what they did with Robin and Lucina's reveal. A lot of people didn't know who Robin and Lucina were.
And I mean, that game sold what, like 3-4 million. I mean, it was a pretty big hit. So, but yeah, there are some people that said that, but
I mean, I'm only saying that because that's actually one of the appeals. That's one of the appeals to Smash, is that you get introduced to characters you aren't used to before. Like, a lot of people weren't even aware of Pikmin as a franchise when Brawl came out. It was like, who the fuck is Olimar? Like, Nintendo has a lot of IPs that are well known, but also has a lot of IPs that people don't know anything about. Like, Ice Climbers was the same situation. It's like no one knew. Most people didn't know that much of Ice Climbers. You can say the same thing for Kid Icarus. So I don't inherently agree with that whole idea that you can't have a who the hell is that kind of character.
Well, here's the counter argument, though. When someone said, let's say, I didn't know who Robin was because I hadn't played Fire Emblem Awakening. Someone said, oh, that's from Fire Emblem Awakening. I knew immediately the Fire Emblem series. Like, I knew the name.
Oh, you recognize? Oh, because the series name.
If you said Shantae from Shantae and the Pirate's Curse or whatever the previous games were, I don't think that's going to help. But saying Fire Emblem, that's a pretty well known franchise with a long history. So
I understand what you're talking about, because at least the franchise name is recognizable, even if the character isn't.
But all right, let's get on. Capable Tie 7 asks, I think this is going to be a short answer. What do you think of Tearaway Unfolded? He likes the paper art style. I don't know, is Unfolded a sequel?
I thought it was a. Isn't it just a port from the Vita to the PlayStation 4?
Probably. Wasn't the whole point of Tearaway though the back touch screen and stuff? So
it's either So I don't actually. I can Google it real quick. I'm curious.
The PS4 does that have any back touch on the back of the DualShock 4?
No, it has that It has that touchpad on the front of the controller.
I've not seen Tearaway since I saw the trailer for the Vita before it came out. So it's been over a year.
What, Tearaway Unfolded?
I'm sure it looks great.
It's the PlayStation 4 version. That's all it is.
I don't have a whole lot. I'll look at a picture right now just to give them a better answer.
I thought Tearaway looked fine as a game. I think it's just literally a port of the first game on the PlayStation 4. I think that's all it is. Let me see.
It's got a cool art style.
I think Tearaway. I think most people said Tearaway was like the first must-have game for the Vita, which is kind of bad considering that game came out last. It came out like 2013.
It's real clean looking, but I mean, it's just simple, solid color shapes and stuff. So I do like the art style, though. I mean, but I guess if I read a PS4, I'd probably think about picking it up, depending on the gameplay. I'm not sure how they're going to incorporate the gameplay from the Vita. It looks like in the picture they're demoing.
My bad. It's a retelling. That's what it is. It's a retelling.
Because I don't know if it looked pretty good to be a port but like I said, it's all pretty simplistic shapes. But they're showing someone using the touchpad on the PS4 controller, so it'll be one of the first games that really utilize that.
The only game, actually. I can't think of any other game that's even mentioned it. People don't talk about that. That's a gimmick, and that was underutilized.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it looks like a good game, or visually looks good, but I don't know. I'd have to see the gameplay or see how it works. And then he asks, do you have any anime suggestions that are on Crunchyroll, and have you seen Kuroko's Basketball? It's
he's talking about Kuroko no Basket. It's a basketball sports anime. Red Knight, I remember on one of his active topics, he asked me if I'm going to just give 3 to kind of go through it quick. Magi for like a cool adventure series. I know One Piece is on there, but I don't know if people care about that. As a romance series, I would say Engaged to the Unidentified, and then as a sport, iShield 21's on there, which is a great football series. So those are 3. There are a lot of others. If you want to ask me, just message me, and I'll tell you some more stuff.
All right. Glad that question was for you, because I haven't watched anime in years. So
yeah, I figured.
Actually, I've never seen a series. I really got hooked on anime, like movies, like the feature films. And the first one I ever saw, I cannot remember the name of it. It was a sequel. It was like a teenage group, and this one guy the main character was the name of the series, which they made movies into, and it was really cool. And I want to say Tensei or something.
Oh, why is it?
They had a series, and then they made a couple movies, and the second movie was the one I saw, and it had something to do with like I forget the villain, how it worked, something to do with he was like in dreams or something. I can't remember, but it was really cool. I remember there was an Eiffel Tower sequence, if I recall, and I was like blown away. I never thought that animation could be turned into like a feature film that was like serious.
See, when you first said that, I was gonna say I thought it was gonna be the Studio Ghibli movies.
No, I seen those later. That's how I discovered those. So I watched all those. Princess Mononoke is one of my favorite movies of all time. I have it on Blu-ray, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it is a really good movie. That's why I was sitting there. I was like, is he talking about?
What was the show? I want to say Tensei or something like that.
See, Tensei.
Tenchu
Muyo.
Yeah,
That's
the
what
movie
you watch.
part 2.
That isn't. I am surprised that is what you were referring to because
The Daughter of Darkness. I can't not remember the plot.
Tenchi Muyo is a very interesting franchise. I'll say that. Tenchi Muyo is probably one of the more of the confusing animes you could have.
Because it was like a female and she could like teleport for reasons I never could figure out.
Oh yeah, Ryuko. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Tenchi Muyo is very weird. I don't want to get into it now because it's kind of a long-winded statement. Let's just say Tenchi Muyo's had about 5 iterations of its series, and one of them just finished like last year. So, and then its movies. My God, like, there's a lot of shit. I could talk about Tenchi Muyo for a minute. I'm not gonna do it here, but that's an interesting movie to get you into anime.
I want to because that was like 1998, 99.
Yeah.
It was on Saturday morning, Adult Swim, whatever station network that was on. Had
Cartoon Network. Yeah.
Saturday mornings, they had full feature films. That one I saw, knew the name of. Actually, I had to look it up. I saw a handful of other ones, and I seen one. It's the best one I've ever seen, and I've never to this day been able to figure it out. So, and this is the first time I thought to actually use YouTube and Google to try to help me. The world, it was, your stereotypical Age of Ultron storyline. Humans built androids, and the main one was called like the King. And this was a movie. I don't know if it was a TV series.
Oh, okay. I was about to say I was thinking Cyborg.
And so of course they realized humans were the biggest threat to the Earth. They were programmed to protect the Earth. And of course they turned on humans, just like in every freaking movie we've seen, or with androids. And some scientist guy created this half human, half android.
Astro Boy?
Nope. He was like probably about a 16 to 18-year-old, Japanese kid, dark hair, and he just had this, whatever he called him, his father, whoever his creator was, created him like, and the sun powered him, so it was a little bit of Superman in him, and he took on basically that whole android army by himself, and there was a human girl that he protected, and it was just so badass. And I've spent hours looking at like just alphabetical anime movies,
what the hell is that?
I could not tell you. The main villain, he was like called the King, and he was like held up in this palace and stuff, and the androids basically wiped out humans, and this one special like Pinocchio boy fell in love with a human girl, and he basically destroyed all the androids because they hurt her or took her or something. And to this day I've never been able to figure it out. That was probably 90, 98, so it's been a while.
I'm looking right now
and I think he had like a sword or a light sword or something, and I don't know if he could fly, but he could definitely had some abilities, and it was incredible. And to this, like, I wonder going back if I'd have the same feeling about it. Same with Tenchi Mui, the movie too. I do want to watch that now that it's been that long and see if it still holds up to me.
It probably doesn't.
So we got off track. And maybe that's why I love Avatar: The Last Airbender so much, because it kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
Oh, it's heavily anime inspired. Avatar is heavily anime inspired.
That's my absolute #1 TV series of any kind of all time. Nothing's even close to me.
Yeah, you see, when you say that, you haven't watched anime. That's why. You don't know about the other greatness. But
I know, but that story was so well thought out, so well written with sarcasm, and how the elements and everything just worked together. One of the best endings of any TV or movie in the history of moving pictures, in my opinion. So if you haven't seen Avatar: The Last Airbender,
I can never get into it personally.
3 seasons, and if you can't by the 4th episode, if you're not hooked, you're probably not going to be hooked. But because it's like the 4th episode when you realize that when he realizes that the whole Air Nation's been pretty much wiped off the face of the earth. That's when you know it's not some goofy kids cartoon. All right, let's get to these last questions. We got off topic there.
Yeah.
Capable Tie 7. Oh, he's kind of, we don't want to talk about, sorry, man. I don't want to bring up any more.
What?
I don't want to bring up any more anime. Let's get back to game.
But see, now I want to know because I can't find the stupid question. If I can see where the questions are.
You did say you can you can open the Q&A app. I think to the left.
Is it?
He's saying, did you say Kuruko's basketball? Terrell, if then, what did you think of it, and who are your favorite characters?
Oh no, I didn't watch it, so that
okay, good.
That's easy. Anyway, I didn't watch it.
And he says I should get the free trial of Crunchyroll. You don't have to pay for Crunchyroll anymore, if I'm mistaken. You can get the commercial.
Yeah, the free trial. The free trial is just if you want to try it without the ads and 1080p streaming and all that other stuff.
All right, we're gonna rapid fire these questions, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Fruit Puncher. Is there a possibility of Zelda U making an appearance at Gamescom? Don't hold your breath. Do not hold your breath. There is a possibility, but it's so slim that
I just say no.
I'm going to say no. All right. So people are complaining about Mario Maker's release date being September 11th. All over the place. You never hear anybody when Americans release things on August 6th. Hiroshima. Are people just complaining to complain these days? Yes, people are complaining to complain.
Yeah, that's more of a statement, if anything.
Yeah, but it's true because no one says if something comes out August 6th, like a movie or something, I was like, oh my God, we can't release it because
it's also been like
it's been longer. I mean, more time has passed, but September 11th was 2001. It's been 14 years.
Yeah, it's been over a decade. I think we can.
I don't think a video game releasing on the same day is an issue at this point.
I think Mario can get away with it.
And I don't think it. I mean, honestly, it's like it happened. It was a tragedy, but you don't want to have it still affect us where we can't release something on that day. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's gonna be movies. I don't know if there any movies are scheduled, but the world moves on, and you don't forget. But you still got to move on. You can't just that date's. You got to try to turn a positive out of that. At some point, you got to just try to move forward. So, all right, Capable Tie 7. To help with the NX, would you rather have Nintendo buy Capcom or Sega? I don't see how either of those help with the NX.
No, well, I think it's more about third parties.
Other than if you buy Capcom, then you at least get the crappy Resident Evil games and Street Fighter.
Well, when it comes to Capcom, we already get a lot of their games anyway. We get all the good franchises. We get Monster.
We didn't get they kind of screwed Nintendo fans over on Street Fighters for quite a while now.
That's like the only franchise that
Resident Evil, they kind of ditched us on the Wii U, but I don't think Capcom's worth it.
I would get Sega just because of Atlas.
And if you get Sega,
because Atlas will at least create Atlas genre of games fit a niche that the Wii U doesn't, or the Nintendo games consoles don't have.
Yep.
So I feel like Atlas at least would add something.
They're gonna get that, but they're gonna get the Atlas games anyway. So why buy them?
Well, no, because Nintendo hasn't really had too many interactions with Atlas. They've only had like the first Persona game we got was on the 3DS, and then we got Persona, Shin Megami Tensei 4, and we're getting the Fire Emblem crossover. Those are the only really Atlas games.
I thought there was Atlas made a bunch of different types of games.
They make more of that type of dark-ish anime style games, and we don't really get too many of those. The anime style games are mainly on the Sony platforms, if anything. Sony get like last generation, they had Catherine, and the Catherine wasn't on the Wii. Atlas is just started to mess with Nintendo in terms of games.
All right. I think
that's only been on the 3DS, if anything.
If they buy Sega, they need to take the Sonic team and show them how to make a damn game. That's what they need to do.
I like Lost World for anyone who cares.
It's okay. With some good controls, it would have been a 8 out of 10.
I don't know what people say. I don't find the controls that bad.
Garbage.
Really?
The garbage. Especially on that snow level. Come on.
Well, that's ice physics. I just like
No, that's bad controls.
That's
We
ice
had to roll that ball. No, that wasn't ice. That was just poor controls. I bet you 20% of my deaths were just poor controls. So if they tighten those up and let you know when you actually die instead of just the screen restarts, it'd be nice too. It was a decent game. Yeah, I'll say that. But it's about they haven't made too many really good games. I don't think.
Actually, yeah, the
What's a
Generations
really good Generations?
and Colors. Colors was a Wii exclusive, and Generations was on the PS3.
I played Generations. It felt like a very short and shallow game to me. Like
it was short, but most people still say
it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
All right, so Mr. Bushido, are you guys excited for Fire Emblem Fates, customization, online 6v6 battles, more story choices and options? Does the fact that it is split into 2 versions piss you off? And Xander would be a perfect fit for Smash. I'm kind of excited. I just played Fire Emblem Awakening, and I played it on casual. And then
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it, but I'm probably good for at least 2 years on needing to play another one. But online 6v6, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I heard it has a really robust online.
I don't think is it gonna have 2 versions on the US release, though. I heard
they haven't really confirmed it. I'm gonna say it's probably going to though. And if that's which it might work for Fire Emblem, because one of them's like a super casual version and the other one's like a hardcore version. I'm not really mad. I can see why people are mad, but I'm not as mad as probably others are. Am I excited for the game? Yes. Almost half of the characters I play in Smash are Fire Emblem characters. Yes. Yes. When does the game come out? That's what I want a release date.
We'll see what 2016 looks like. I might have to pick it up just because it might be nothing else to play.
Well, on the 3DS, probably, yeah.
If it comes, I mean, just in general, I don't see a whole lot of games scheduled for the first half of 2016 that we know of. So,
I think the crossover Fire Emblem Shin Megami Tensei game might be the only thing. I think that's still coming out this year in Japan. So I think
that doesn't look like a game I could see myself playing. I mean, I don't get it. I tried. I just don't understand it. I'm all about the visual style, the anime style, and the physics.
I just love how your response. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I watched the Treehouse thing twice, and I just don't get it.
You don't get the plot, or you just don't.
I don't get the battle system. I don't get the.
It's turn based, and it's a mixture of Fire Emblems.
Well, what's with the dancing and all that? I don't.
That's just a theme. That's okay. Like that doesn't really do anything in terms of gameplay. That's just a theme.
I do like. Well, there's that whole superstar. Like your character wants to. There's like that meter that builds up from getting applause and stuff. So it's just like.
Oh no, it's not from applause. It's just from chaining attacks that are like the opponent is weak.
No, like when that chick's singing, like it like powers her up. Like you want to have an audience that gives like actually some kind of special meter or something. I forget how it worked.
I know. I remember the one where all 3 of them end up chaining attacks together.
It wasn't in the battle sequence. It was the girl singing in the plaza, or like in the.
Oh, in the actual anime.
And that does something. That like does something for your character, and then the battle sequence was like, to me, it. Like I said, I'm not an RPG player. I have no idea what was going on. I do like. I'm gonna have to go
look at the footage just to see, because I don't.
Yeah. There's a whole thing with the main girl wants to be like a pop singer.
I knew about that. That's just the plot line. And
no, there's actual mechanic that builds off that. So
okay, I gotta look at the footage again.
So I do like the physics on the female characters, and I will say
really. Wow.
It's just cartoon stuff though, so it's.
Hey man, I got a lot of shit when I used to say that shit a lot. So.
Hey, cartoon boobies are better than no boobies, you know.
Hey man,
they're not.
Look, I appreciate. I understand where you're coming from. I appreciate the physics too.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Even though it's cartoon, like I said, it's boobs are boobs. Come on.
Dude, I watch
be real here.
I watch so many genres of anime. I've seen so much animated breasts. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's just, I always think because I took art class and animation's so freaking tedious, and I just couldn't take the time to do a good animation, like little flip book.
Oh
But
no,
to
that's
think
aggravating.
how much time goes into like making boobs bounce, like that extra animation they have to draw, the extra steps they have to take. It's just like, I know there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's just it's always funny to me to think of the animator actually drawing those out.
Oh well, see, there are animes that are dedicated to that, and people be like, "Why is the animation so bad for everything else?" Because all of it went towards the breast and ass.
It's like they're like back in the old days, you actually had to flip the pages to see how the animation was looking.
Yeah.
And like, oh, that boob just doesn't bounce quite right. Let's erase.
Hey man, that's why people love what's that game franchise that's been on the 3DS?
Oh, Dead or Alive.
No, not that. Seren Kagura, the anime one with like.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like a beat 'em up, and when you beat the characters up, their clothes rip off, and you get a lot of boob and ass shots. I gotta send you a gameplay clip. It's ridiculous. That's a fan service game by the numbers. It's a beat 'em up with a lot of ass and titty shots.
Yeah, that's the one thing missing from Nintendo games, I gotta say.
Hey man, we got Bayonetta with crotch shots.
Yeah, but her boobs didn't bounce, so I mean,
she's not stacked, man. She can't be stacked and doing all that shit too. That's insane.
That's the one, everyone talks about Nintendo needs to do this, to do that. That's the one thing they need to do, in my opinion. They got to get physics. Mario
Party 10 has jiggle physics, so
yeah. We need to see Zelda. We need to see some realistic.
We got Zero Suit Samus. That ass. I don't even act like you ain't got it. You got that ass, bro.
This podcast just got real junior high.
This is the anime and a horn dog podcast.
Next, we'll be talking about adult films.
Oh no, we're not going there. We have children watching.
All right, moving on. Fruit Puncher it is confirmed that both Fire Emblems will be separate, Conquest and Birthright.
I'm getting both, so I don't care.
I guess I gotta believe you, Fire Puncher, because I haven't seen that. I know Japan was getting 2 for sure. I didn't see the US.
We better get a goddamn collector's edition. I know that.
I'm definitely not buying 2 Fire Emblem games.
Yeah, I was like, just get the easy version.
All right, we got 3 questions left, so here we go. Did you guys love the GameCube Mario Party games like I did? I wish they'd add online and get rid of the car. I never played
the second half of that.
I've never played a GameCube Mario Party game, so I can't comment.
I played one, and me and my friends, we fight all the time, so we stopped playing. I haven't played a Mario Party game since the GameCube, actually. And I do agree they should get rid of the car. Well, no, you don't even have to get rid of it. Just create a mode with the original play style in it, and then
let me play. If I had 3
give
friends
me options.
I want to play against them in like a board game where actually some skills involved. And like the original Mario Party, my friend came in one day on the N64 after the weekend, and he had a raw spot in the center of his hand where a huge blister had formed from doing where he had to rotate the analog stick, and he'd use his palm, like the center of his hand, he'd put it on the analog stick and just do a really quick movement instead of using his thumb. And he burnt like a hole, which blistered. And like that was like my first experience in Mario, like hearing about Mario Party. And it just seemed like there was a lot more involved back then, and then they just got so lazy and just luck based.
It's a super casual as fuck now, which is not the point of Mario Party.
Make a Mario Party where like really skilled platformers and like put platformers with, WarioWare like mini games, like something where some skill between 2 people can actually like happen, so that somebody who's maybe the better one at platform is going to win that game, or where it's just roll a dice and you get put up here, okay, now you get sent back. Like it's just too much luck based, and the mini games look really pathetic. Let's just say that, because even in the Mario Party 10, they made it so you can use the D-pad to move in a 3D environment instead
Why
of
would you want to?
And it's like, I don't ever want to see a 3D like Mario 3D World playing with the D-pad is terrible. But they tried to make it work by adding only the 8 directional movement. Like, just get away from the D-pad. Put a freaking analog stick on the Wii remote, and in the future, if they're going to go that route. I don't want to use the D-pad ever again for moving something in a 3D environment. That's why I didn't play Nintendo Land as much, because a lot of those games required the freaking D-pad to move. You couldn't even hook up an analog stick, the nunchuck. If you had one, it didn't even support it. It was just only the raw Wii remote.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that setup personally.
There's a rant for you. I hate using the D-pad to move a character in a 3D space.
You are going to hate Other M just for that reason. Because Other M was a bitch. So I think I almost got a blister from Other M.
Yeah, I certain games I don't mind it, but like New Super Mario Brothers, I didn't mind it. And Capable Tie 7 said there was a lot of skill and strategy in the GameCube Mario Party games. Like I said, I didn't play them. But my friend who was a big fan of the N64 ones, he didn't like the GameCube version, so I took his word on it.
I like the GameCube versions. I just didn't like fighting with my friends afterwards about how they were cheating bastards. That was the problem.
Man, we've dragged this podcast out a lot longer than I thought. So
hey, man, we were making up. We got less people. We gotta push that clock.
Yeah, I could have had Red Knight like a half hour ago. It was like, yeah, I just saw the message to join them. And I was like, oh, it's pretty much over. But he could have jumped in. But anyway, Mr. Bushido says, you guys are hilarious. So thank you. It's all Terrell. I mean,
where's my award is my question.
Yeah, because I'm not the phony one. Terrell's the phony one. So
well, no. Give yourself some credit, sir. You are funny.
I just say things like real straight, what did someone say? Real dry humor.
Yeah, you have that. I have dark humor. That works out for me.
I don't even want to answer this question. Capable Tie, how likely is it that the NX will be able to beat the PS4? In which way?
Unless NX has a hammer connected to it and you can like lean it over.
Is it like in a hand-to-hand combat? Is it in sales? Is it in power? Is it in popularity? I mean,
I want it to be hand-to-hand combat. That'd be pretty funny.
I think the NX will destroy the PS4 as far as interface, controller.
Yeah, I think the Wii U does that to the PS4.
Yeah, that's why I said definitely guarantee the NX will. But I'm just a Nintendo fan living in my bubble. I'm in my Mario bubble, like in New Super Mario Brothers.
We won't let you out. You'll be costing us all the lives and shit.
I'm shaking the remote, trying to get closer to you. It's not working.
No, that's called masturbation juice. That's what that's called.
You know what's funny is a lot of games use that. Like Guacamelee has that in the 2-player mode. Is
that another Nintendo innovation we can't talk about because Nintendo doesn't innovate?
And they use it for 3D World, but I mean it's just a real good solution. Okay, somebody gets ahead of the other players, they go in a bubble.
It's in Yoshi's Woolly World too, apparently.
Yep. So I mean, it's just a little touch when you're playing multiplayer. It sucks for those people that get lagged behind that don't have as much skill, and just hit A and you're in the bubble. So I remember a couple years ago, I was working with this girl, and she was pretty. She was real nice to look at, and she was pretty cool. So I was always talking to her. And,
I look at the first thing you mentioned is her appearance over her personality.
She had some. Let's just say she was stacked and blonde, and she was nice.
Wow. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you go funny. You go for the bimbos. I got you, man.
She was pretty smart, but we were talking. She overheard me and this guy talking about Mario or something, video games in general, and she's just like, yeah, I play with my nephews, and she's like, she didn't even tell me what game it was. She's like, but they're always in that damn bubble, and I knew exactly what she was talking about. It was just funny how she didn't have to say it was Mario or anything. She's like, yep, they're always in the damn bubble, and I just beat the level. So I was like, it's just funny how.
And you didn't take her out. What
she had a boyfriend. She was drama.
Hey man, you could have went behind that and got something done.
I wish. I thought about it, but she liked drama. Here's what she was. She would go be flirty and nice to me one day. The next day she'd go up to this other guy and be nice and flirty with him. And next day she'd go with another guy, and she liked that the other guys reacted to that.
She just liked the attention. That's
I learned. Yeah, she. At first, I thought she was just real cool and independent. No, she was an. What I hate to say this because if there's any women listening, but she wasn't an attention whore. This girl lived off of attention, and once I figured that out, it took me like a couple months to really see her pattern. I just stopped talking to her, and it like all of a sudden she's sitting down in my area. She's going through my desk. Like I hadn't talked to her in a week, and all of a sudden she's all interested again. I'm like, what? What is wrong? I just want to say, what is wrong with you? Because I didn't talk to you, you want to talk to me. If I talk to you, say hi every day, then you don't.
Yeah.
Then she just like goes off and
that is a physical representation that girls. Those are the type of girls that like the hard to get approach. Treat them like shit.
Mm-hmm. And that's what her boyfriend did.
Yeah,
she's still with him. So
that's called an abusive relationship right there.
You know how bad it is. She got so excited on Valentine's Day because he cleaned the house and cooked dinner. She was so impressed, and I'm like, I do that every day. Like I do the dishes, and I cooked for my ex-girlfriend.
Okay, think about it. You got to think about it from her perspective. Every day of her life, she gets shot in the face. So getting shot in the foot. So getting shot in the foot another day, that seems like the best fucking thing ever to her.
So I'm like, so him doing what he should be doing from the get-go, because he only does it once a year, is like this great thing. But if I did it every day, I'm sure it wouldn't be enough. So anyway, that's just the mind of a woman.
This is a very tangent-based podcast. we have jumped off like 4 or 5 times.
And we just like, we're over an hour and a half. I thought we'd be done in 40 minutes. So, all right, we're going to literally and actually do it this time. We're going to rapid fire these. And
I don't believe you. It's lies.
And Mr. Bushido, is the juice always loose? Pretty much. With Terrell on here, it is.
Don't blame me for that. That's not my fault. I plead the fifth.
And this is like the worst trade offer I've had in my life. He'll trade. Oh wait, never mind. I read it wrong. He wants.
Yeah, but that's a Greninja. That's an exclusive.
He wants to trade his Palutena for a Greninja. I thought he was going to trade me Greninja for my bitch right here. That's my girl.
Oh, you got her. I was waiting for a fresh juice. I was so disappointed I didn't see one.
I will trade any Amiibo I have for a Lucina. If anybody has a Lucina in the box, the American edition with a straight sword. I have some rare ones. I have Wii Fit. I have Marth. I have DDD. Rosalina. Charizard. Palutena. I'll trade any of those for a Lucina if anybody's listening. The tricky part, though, is if you trade, then you got to trust the other person's going to send it.
Yeah.
I know I will. I know I have to because, people are going to know. I'm going to make a video saying I'm doing it. So,
are you going? It's going to be a vlog where you go into the post office and you drop it off.
Plus, that's like $10 UPS to go. Probably 13 if it's going to someone's house. I mean, that's not even worth it. I might as well just pay $25 to get one shipped from somewhere, If I'm going to trade one that I paid $13 for and pay $13 shipping, I might as well just pay 20 if I can find one for 25, 26 shipped. All right, Capable Tie 7. This question's too long, got too long of an answer. So I'm going to skip it.
Oh,
we've answered like 10 of his questions, so I'm going
to we're good.
Shadow Hero 43, thoughts on Nintendo licensing some Hudson Soft IP from Konami. Is that true, or is that what he wants?
I think it's what he wants.
I have no idea what Hudson Soft IPs are. I mean, I don't know.
I don't
can't name any other than Bomberman. That's the only one I could name.
Hey, man, a new Bomberman game be fly. Get it on mobile. Do something with that.
Yeah, but other than that, I don't know of any other of their IPs. And,
let's just move on before we get into another tangent.
Yeah, just bring Nintendo should get Bomberman, and I never played those games, but I do think that they would be pretty good on the Wii U gamepad, I would think.
Yeah, get a virtual console releases.
Last question, Mr. Bushido. Do you think King K. Rool hates Donkey Kong because Donkey Kong smashed K. Rool's wife?
The dong has expanded.
Is that Conky Dong or Donkey Kong?
Oh man,
Who is King K. Rool's wife? Does anybody know?
he doesn't have a wife. I think he's bullshit.
His wife's gonna be ugly as hell, though. I mean, Donkey Kong can do better.
You're so mean to that man.
King K. Rool is one ugly mofo. So
listen, man, he already ain't been in a game forever. His revival is a fucking me costume. He has it rough right now.
Let's just say Donkey Kong didn't need him.
Well, obviously, Donkey Kong's doing fine.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the name of the last villain in Tropical Freeze, but he was way cooler looking. He was the head Viking guy.
Oh, the Walrus? Is that what he was?
He might have been.
It's a good platform. Oh, fuck that boss. I don't remember. I remember what that thing looked like.
He was an awesome boss fight. I just don't know his name or I
don't think he had a name.
And then the polar bear before that was cool as hell. When he'd go into the purple, he'd come up, his white fur was getting dyed after every time.
The funny thing about that boss came way too late because I think the pufferfish boss was harder.
Probably, but I still like that one, whether it was harder or not. I thought the polar bear one was one of the better ones for me. I just thought it was cool.
Hey man, I just like that game because it allows you to beat the shit out of them when the battle ends. It's like just button mash and just take out all your frustrations.
That was a great Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, man. That's such an amazing game.
It's a good game.
I wish that game. I really wish there would have been some DLC levels or something. I would have paid for that. I just love the physics and the controls. That was just a solid game. Underappreciated. Only sold 1 million. We've all these people talking about droughts after Splatoon, and yet a lot of people didn't buy Donkey Kong Country Tropical.
And Bayonetta 2 is still
Bayonetta 2.
It's like 75.
I gotta pay. I'm gonna have to play that game again. It's been a minute since I played it.
I need to play the first one. I haven't played the first one.
The first one has some good moments, but it is so freaking hard. And the witch time is literally as you're getting hit, almost this. I mean,
I know. I played the broken PS3 version.
So
that was my first experience.
It's so hard to do witch time, and even on the standard difficulty, like you're gonna get. I'm getting stone metal after stone metal, and stone metal. It's not even metal. It's freaking stone. But you know what I meant.
That's a contradiction.
And it's so frustrating. But there's some really awesome moments. Oh, after playing Bayonetta 2, it's hard to go back. It's real hard to go back.
No, I know. I played Bayonetta originally on the PS3. I just haven't played the Wii U version of Bayonetta yet, which apparently is the good 360.
It's good, but there is some slowdown in 2 of the boss fights. But other than that, it's pretty solid.
I have a guess of which ones it is.
But once I get past like chapter 5, 6, like I can't beat it without having to continue. I can't beat that chapter.
Really?
So, really tough. Bayonetta 2, even on third climax, is easier than Bayonetta 1 on normal, just because of the witch time. You can't do witch.
My problem is the stupid ass instant death quick time events that happen during the boss fights.
There's like 4 of those in the first Bayonetta. Just out of the blue.
Yeah, I know. I hate it.
There's one on chapter 2 where you're like,
you talking about the clock tower one?
There's a clock tower, yep.
And it's like, and you gotta hit that shit perfectly.
Just like the witch time, man. And I got to the point where I could do that. I actually got a platinum on that chapter, I think. Maybe a gold.
That wasn't on your first try, though. I know that.
No, first try, I mean, took me 5 or 6 to get the timing right. But Bayonetta 2...
It's so unforgiving, I swear.
I wish they would have took Bayonetta 2's more forgiving witch time and tighter controls and applied those to Bayonetta 1, the port, then I would like Bayonetta 1 better because I did like the
that at least means that Bayonetta 2 was a progressive sequel. The only thing I think Bayonetta 1 did better was the final boss. The final boss in Bayonetta 1 is a lot better than Bayonetta 2's final boss.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because it's only like 2 forms. I'm like, the first boss was like 3 or 4 forms, and that shit got ridiculous. Like compared to that, the final boss Bayonetta 2, I was like, is that it? Like he's not gonna no? Oh.
I beat that game so many times too to try to get platinum on that last chapter. That end sequence, like you got to get medals during the credits, and there's one without the right weapon, or no, it was I think it was the second one during the credits. Something I was doing wrong, and then I figured it out. I had to be freaking Bayonetta's mom, Rosa.
Oh yeah. Oh,
So
I will say,
her is she takes like 5 times the damage when she gets hit, so boss fights become really hard. So
I was gonna say. Last thing about Bayonetta 2, I really did like that plot twist they threw in at the end. The whole thing about how it kind of comes full circle.
You know, and the people that reviewed the game saying the story was just stupid and ridiculous. It was a pretty interesting story and funny, and I got into it. So
yeah, I enjoyed it.
Once I did the story once, like the game's all about the gameplay after the first playthrough. I played 70 hours, 65 hours in Bayonetta 2, and I only watched the cutscenes on maybe twice total all the way through, and all the other times I just skip it because it's not about the story, it's about the gameplay. The gameplay is so good. That's why that game's so good. And it's probably still, you know, in my mind it changes all the time, but I would say it's a tie between that, Mario Kart 8, 3D World, and Donkey Kong for like the best Wii U game. It's like it's hard to pick one out of those 4. They're just so good. But anyway, Mr. Bushido gets the last comment of the podcast. He says, "Great podcast, boys. I tune in every Monday."
My question is, why is boys in all caps?
Yeah, I don't know.
What are you trying to say?
We're men here, not boys. Just saying. We're grown-ass men.
Everywhere.
I'm a grown-ass man.
Oh, God. No, we're not doing that.
I grew up. Why didn't Nintendo grow up? I grew up. I don't still watch cartoons.
It's like, I don't believe in that kiddie shit. We put that at home, like the kids. We don't fucking take that out. Real men play real games like The Witcher. Or Mortal Kombat, but I could pretend to be a fucking demon and punch people in the face.
And my reply to that always is I still play games like The Witcher and Mortal Kombat, but you can play those and you can play Splatoon, Mario Kart.
Well, my response is you're still doing the same thing I'm doing. You're sitting on your ass in your room, holding a controller, playing something that you're not technically doing yourself. I think to anyone who thinks you're a nerd, they're gonna think you're a nerd regardless of what game you're playing.
But I grew up, Nintendo should have grew up with me. Like, dude, they've always made games that anyone can enjoy at any age. Why do they need to change from that? Why do they need to stop making games for kids?
Because
and then you got, they don't have to stop making games for kids. They just need to make more mature games. Why? Like,
you already have 2 consoles that do that already for you.
Maturity isn't just violence, blood, swear words. Maturity is like just taking a game and making it so you're not even worried about.
Also, who the fuck plays video games to be mature in the first place?
Some kids do.
They're video games, for God's sakes.
Part of maturing and growing up, like maturing as a person, is being more open-minded, and like you never notice how kids hate certain types of food. Like my nephew, he only eats hot dogs. But as you get older, your tastes mature and you start realizing, oh wait, I like onions. I like food with a little more flavor. I like more, take that and add it to video games, it works the complete opposite almost. It's like when you're a kid, you'll play anything. When you're some of these adults, quote unquote adults, now they only want to play one type of game. So just think of it that way. Maturity isn't just about ratings and sex and violence, and it's also about being a mature person. You don't worry about stuff that kids worry about and cliques in high school and what's cool and what isn't. That's part of being mature. So, and Mr. Bushido says he hopes Donkey Kong sleeps with our wives.
He means Conky Dong. He's good.
That's my porn name. I'm Conky Dong.
So and the reason why they call you that is every time you come on set, you're rocking a GK tie.
That's all I wear. And my banana. All right, with that.
Goodbye from the Pouring Podcast.
Tune in next week.
Where my dog expands.
That's gonna be my new Nintendo Network ID name.
Oh, God, don't do that.
All right, so it's been fun. I want to thank everybody who's watched this live, asked questions, good conversation with Terrell here. And let's get some final thoughts from you, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
I can't. I'm still tripping off the dong thing. I can't really. This has been fun. I appreciate the video game, anime, and dong expanding talk.
Hey, we've talked about poo. We've talked about, what did we talk about after that?
We talked balls.
Balls. Yep. And now we're talking about dong. So who knows what'll be next week?
I just want to clarify: we are not gay. There's nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. But just to clarify, ladies, we are not gay. But yeah, this is a fun podcast. Apparently, I'm the cause of all jokes because I've noticed the only common factor that stays the same in all those podcasts is me. So I'm the problem. So if you need to blame someone, you can blame it on me. And I guess we'll catch you. Oh, life's a game, play to win. I guess we'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Final thoughts from me. I missed having Sean Troll on this podcast, but you can't miss him if he's not gone, So he'll hopefully be back next week.
In spirit.
And I don't know if the news is real light. Maybe we'll have to wait a couple weeks, but it's hard to do weekly podcasts when there's not much news after E3. But we do the best we can, try to make it fun. I think Terrell is a big part of that. So thanks for becoming a regular on the Juices Loose and having a good discussion and having some good laughs. And again, thanks to everybody who watched. And we'll see about Mario Kart 8 tournament this Thursday. Turnout was a little less this week, but we'll try it again. I'm going to try Red Knight's tournament for Smash tomorrow. I highly recommend everybody else do that. The code name or the password is Federation to his tournament. So I think you know what game he's referencing that password.
You should just put the word salt as the password.
Yeah. Salty ass mofos. So anyway, that's going to be it for the Juices Loose number 53. And I'll have to put a title on it once it uploads because I couldn't think of a title. I didn't know what we were going to be talking about. So anyway, that's going to be it for this podcast.
It better be called Conky Dong. That's what it better be called.
Yep, that's what it's going to be with a question mark. So, all right, we're going to wrap. We're going to leave and have a good night, everybody. And we'll see you on the next video. Peace out.